Hey, good day and welcome to your favorite YouTube channel, Nation's Voice Star. I know you've missed us and we've missed you too over time. Yes, let's go straight to today's point. Yes, I have something trending for you and it's hot. Yes, almost few weeks to the 2023 February elections and things are getting hot in the political ground, okay? I told you that the political ground is like war. So close to the election time, there will be heated form of occurrences. Now listen to me. I brought you a particular trending video few days ago about the ex-media aide of the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar. Yes, now you can take a seat and relax. I have a lot of gist for you today. Yes, now in that video which was titled Atiku Gate 1, the ex-media aide of the PDP presidential candidate Michael Achimugu came out to reveal a certain level of corruption that his then principal was involved in during his time as vice president, ranging from 1999 to 2007. All right, serving under then President Olusegun Obasanjo. Okay, now in that first video titled Atiku Gate 1, Michael Achimugu was so revealing that he told us how his then principal partook in high level corruption, which he termed as not being able or not advised to participate in what was called open corruption. Okay, so by trying to actualize this, his then principal Atiku Abubakar created or initialized what we knew as SPVs, okay, special purpose vehicles. That means these were companies that were created to be owned by allies of the then vice president, okay, and they would directly report to him. But these companies were created with the sole aim of him avoiding all the monies or capital transactions of those companies being traced back to him. Wow. Now that, if you can remember the video, you can watch it. You can watch it as in the background. You could see the video. And yes, that was that about the Atiku Gate 1. Now Atiku Gate 2 came forth after Senator Dino Melaye, that is the spokesperson, one of the spokesperson of PDP, came out openly from London and took to Twitter to directly rain abusive words at the ex-media aide of his now principal, Atiku Abubakar. Dino Melaye came out to call him all sort of names, call him a Yahoo boy, and so on and so forth. Alright, but right now, that last week or 3 days ago, I brought you another trending video of Atiku Gate 3. Okay, after Michael Achimugu was angered by what Dino Melaye said on his own video, and he came out to tell Dino Melaye, of course, he termed him in that video as a child in an adult body. Okay, he said it was Dino Melaye who was sent to malign him because of the truth or the revealing truth or whistleblowing as it is termed today. Because of the whistleblowing he had come up or courageously come up to do against his former principal, who is the present principal of Dino Melaye, that is Atiku Abubakar. Now that third video was so revealing because Achimugu said instead of exposing them all, he listened to a lot of elders, as you could see on your screen. Watch your screen. He listened to a lot of elders and he calmed down. But because of what Dino Melaye said, Achimugu decided to aggravate his anger and release more bombshells. Now, he came out to give us conversations of Atiku's children and daughters trying to, in their quest to get rich under the pretext of their father being the president of the country, which was recent days back. I brought you that update too. Today is a very, very hot day for the PDP camp and then for Atiku Abubakar because right now, I think the greatest bombshell has been dropped by Achimugu, Michael Achimugu, okay, and right now it has gone viral and it is trending right now that the presidential candidate of the PDP should be immediately arrested by either the DSS or the EFCC. Okay, right now what's happening online and offline, and if you follow it, like if you're following the news right now and you're following Nation Voice Tower, you're going to know that right now in the political scene and in the Nigerian government, everything is being heated up. Festus Keyamo, that is one of the spokesperson of Bola Ahmed Asiwaju Tinubu of the APC, who is also a legal practitioner and a senior advocate of Nigeria, okay, came out to speak from a legal point of view. We don't know if he was speaking from a political point of view, but he was speaking from a legal point of view, and he had quickly called for the arrest of Atiku Abubakar, the former vice president and the present flag bearer for People's Democratic Party, PDP. This is shocking. I'm like, as I'm reading this, as I'm telling you this right now, I am actually getting goosebumps. Okay, all right. So, but I will still keep on giving you the best. So listen now. Festus Keyamo came out, okay, and handed or granted a press conference to say that, or to quickly hand a plea to the government to initialize or to initiate the arrest of the present PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar. And on your screen is a written warrant signed by the chairman EFCC, also copied the chairman ICPC, and also the DG DSS. On your screen there you could see it. And this particular arrest warranty was released today by Festus Keyamo, and it is actually a guarantee or an arrest warrant. Sorry, I beg your pardon, to arrest the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar. Well, this is politics, and whether we like it or not, in as much as what Atiku Abubakar has done or has been revealed to, or was revealed to that he has done in the past, is not really out of place for the law to take its course. And forward to some hours or some minutes ago, Femi Fani-Kayode is also a spokesperson of the APC, all right, and he came out also to condemn the despicable acts exhibited in those evidences by Atiku Abubakar, who is the presidential candidate of the PDP. All right, let me leave you to watch the video of Femi Fani-Kayode.
And I asked myself, why is it that some people can do these things with such impunity and nothing happens to them, whilst others would have done nothing at all and everything bad happens to them? This is not the kind of society we want or that we worked for. And I want to say clearly and categorically, and this is, whichever side of the political divide you are on, from that audio tape alone, it is clear that Atiku Abubakar is a criminal. A criminal that should not only be arrested, he should also be jailed. He has brought disgrace and infamy on everything that the Obasanjo government achieved. He has crumbled it. He has made it clear that so many horrendous things were going on behind the scenes. And this is unacceptable to me and to all the other people, both in PDP today and in APC today, that were in any way linked to that administration. So for me, there's a great outrage about this sort of thing. Secondly, I want to make this point, if I may, and I want us to take this very seriously. The safety of the whistleblower is at stake. This is a very serious issue. And I join Festus Keyamo and others, Dele and everybody else on this side of the divide to say, look, nothing must happen to this man. I am aware that one or two individuals that are very close to Atiku Abubakar have gone as far as to suggest that they want to take his life. They're keeping quiet publicly, but behind the scenes, they are shaking like chicken because they know that this is their end. If it had been anybody else in this room, or if it had been our candidate, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whose voice you heard on that audio, by now, you know what would have happened. Let's face it, let's be honest. Every newspaper in this country, it would have been headline. It would have been on every television station in this country. We would have been lambasted, insulted, and they would have called for his arrest. But there was silence here. Everybody was pretending, everybody was ignoring it. Why? Because it's Atiku. Now I say this finally, that those that believe within Atiku's camp, and again, there's an identifiable person, I don't want to mention his name yet, but I will when the time comes, a businessman that believe that they have all the security agencies in their pockets, because they boasted this, that nothing can happen because we have all the security agents in our pockets. Let it be that this is a case that will prove him and them wrong. He's not above the law. I call for his investigation, his invitation, and his prosecution, because others have been prosecuted for doing far less. This is what you call direct evidence. It's not a question of hearsay. Direct evidence. And if he has a defense, let him come and provide the defense. But if nothing happens, and if under this government a man can come out and get away with saying that this is how we stole money, we used SPV, we did this, naming names, naming companies, naming that, naming amounts of money, and he gets away with it, what will the world say about Nigeria? Can this type of man ever be trusted with power in this country? In my view, and in the view of all of us here, the answer to that question is no. He's not fit to be president. He's not fit to run as president. And the people around him are even worse criminals than he is. And we have absolutely no fear. And like Festus has said, if what we are saying here will cost us anything, because, you know, this is a very emotional moment for me and for many of us. No matter what it costs us for saying these things against them, it's not just about the campaign anymore. It's about the integrity of our country. And whether or not, as the leading black nation on earth, whether we have decent men that can run for office. They maligned Asiwaju for so long, for so many months. They called him a drug dealer. They called him everything. They said he was mentally unsound. They said this, that, everything. We simply responded forcefully, and we stood our ground. Now, a serious allegation has come from their own mouths. A man confessing to criminal acts when he was in power. And you expect us to keep quiet? Let them bring out their brightest and best to defend this one. We're waiting for them. Thank you very much.
That was Femi Fani-Kayode there, and his own part, his own point of view was also same as Festus Keyamo. All right, and all of them are actually calling and rallying for the arrest, for the immediate arrest of Atiku Abubakar by the DSS, or the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Now, let us bring this together. But before we go further, I would allow you to finish, to finish up the video for Festus Keyamo, so you will see what he said. All right, trust me, he said a lot. Listen and watch.
And then we have titled it, Enough of Playing the Ostrich regarding the Special Purpose Vehicle, SPV saga. And we have said that we strongly demand the immediate arrests and or invitation. If you are not arresting, you are inviting, interrogation, and possible prosecution of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Gentlemen of the press, these are the facts of this matter. For about a week now, Nigerians have been in deep shock over the grave revelations by a whistleblower, Mr. Michael Achimogo, who has provided the nation with iron-cast evidence of letters of appointment by Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, emails, documents, audio clips, sworn affidavits, and his direct oral evidence as to how Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, who happens to be the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, during his tenure as Vice President of Nigeria between 1999 and 2007, colluded with his then boss, President Olusegun Obasanjo, to fleece the country and steal public funds using what he termed the Special Purpose Vehicle, SPVs. Those SPVs were companies Atiku admittedly registered upon assumption of office as Vice President with the approval of President Olusegun Obasanjo, using trusted allies as shareholders and directors. The purpose was to divert government contracts to these companies as consultants, and then paid monies into these companies and used those monies to fund the PDP and their private businesses and family activities. We can all vividly recall that during that tenure, both President Olusegun Obasanjo and Atiku Abubakar built the Bell University and American University respectively. Now, we know where those funds came from. They came from the SPVs. We hereby make available certified copies of the sworn affidavits, sworn to and released to the public by the whistleblower. We have made it available to you. And so you have a certified copy of those affidavits with you, giving graphic details of all that transpired, including attached documents. Gentlemen, let us also play to you the voice recording that he did of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Following those emails, Atiku then called him, and the phone number is there by which he called him, the time of the call, everything is provided for there. Let us play to you the voice recording of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Note that he provided the time of the call, the phone number and he used, and the emails immediately preceding the call. Gentlemen, it's just a 2-minute audio. Listen to it.
Conversation between me and him.
Mike.
Yes, sir.
How can you ask me what is this theory? I don't know SCVs, and in this mission before I start arguing with these people. SCV is a special purpose vehicle. In other words, is a company they incorporate to carry out certain, activities.
Okay, sir.
You see what happened was when we came into, the office, and I advised the president against, open corruption.
Yes, sir.
I told him, I said, give me 3 people you trust.
Yes, sir.
And I will prepare 3 companies for which they will be the subscribers, or rather the directors.
Okay, sir.
So that, if there is any contract that we give, they will act like consultants, and then they are giving a fee. And that fee is what we now use, to fund the party, instead of, getting open. So he gave me the names of Fashawe, Andy Uba, and the late, this guy, from Bornote, who died in that plane crash. Trying to retrieve them.
Okay, sir.
So I now incorporated companies and I put them in subscribers.
Yes.
And one of the companies was Marine Floats.
Yes, sir.
So when this governor sent a donation to the party, now he sent it to Marine Floats. So it was paid into Marine Floats.
Yes, sir.
And one of the subscribers of Marine Float was Papashe. That account was very well investigated by EFCC to see whether, there was any issue. They found out that there was nothing.
Yes, sir.
So that was where the 100 million went to. It did not go to Atiku Abubakar. It went to Marine Float. The Marine Float was an SPV, special purpose vehicle, created, as a consulting company. So
okay, sir.
that was the way I handled it.
Okay, sir.
Yes. So that was what I was really trying to say to you. No money was given to Atiku Abubakar.
Well, gentlemen, that is the summary of it. It went on and on, but that is the meat of it. And I'm sure you got the meat of the gist. This has been in the public domain, and I'm sure you have also listened to it and saw it, including the emails that preceded the call. Because what happened was that there was an allegation that time Dariye had just been jailed over this matter. And I'm sure you all know that one of the counts preferred against Governor Dariye was this 100 million. And that was why he was jailed. That was why Dariye was jailed. This 100 million. But it was the linkage to Atiku that we could not get all along, because it was paid to marine floats. Now he provided the evidence to say that marine float was actually the cover that they used, because Dariye took money directly from the coffers of Plateau State and paid to the marine float. That was why he was jailed. That he diverted money belonging to the Plateau people. Now we know that this money actually found its way back to Atiku Abubakar and his boss. But they used people as front to siphon these monies, and so many others. There were other two companies that he did not mention, but he mentioned marine floats, by which they were siphoning money from the public coffers. Now, gentlemen, possible infractions of the law. From the oral account of the whistleblower, the voice notes, and all other supporting documents, these are the possible infractions of the law Atiku Abubakar has committed, and we urge his prosecution with his duties and responsibilities. 10 says, a public officer shall not ask for or accept property or benefits of any kind for himself or any other person on account of anything done or omitted to be done by him in the discharge of his duties. 2, subsection 2 of 10, for the purposes of subsection 1 of this section, the receipt by a public officer of any gift or benefit from commercial firms, business enterprises, or persons who have contracts with governments, shall be presumed to have been received in contravention of the said subsection 1 of this section, unless the contrary is proved. 13, a public officer shall not do or direct to be done in abuse of his office any act prejudicial to the rights of any other person, knowing that such act is unlawful or contrary to any government policy. Section 17, a public officer who does any act prohibited by this act through a nominee, listen very carefully, through a nominee, trustee, or other agent, shall be deemed ipso facto to have committed a breach of this act. Now, there are also offenses against the Money Laundering Law here. Section 18 of the Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022 states as follows. Any person, subsection 2, any person or body corporate in or outside Nigeria who directly or indirectly, A, conceals or disguises the origin of, that's the concealment, through marine floats, or converts or transfers, removes from the jurisdiction, or acquires, uses, retains, or takes possession or control of any fund or property intentionally, knowingly, or reasonably ought to have known that such fund or property is or forms part of the proceeds of an unlawful act, commits an offense of money laundering under this act. 3, there's also the possibility of offense of criminal breach of trust. Section 311 of the Penal Code reads thus: whoever being in any manner entrusted with property or with any dominion over property dishonestly misappropriates or converts to his own use that property, or dishonestly uses that, or disposes of that property in violation of any direction of law prescribing the mode in which such trust is to be discharged, or of any legal contract, express or implied, which he has made touching the discharge of such trust, or willfully suffers any other person to so do, commits criminal breach of trust. Now, there's also possibly the offense of conspiracy. Section 96(1) of the Penal Code of Nigeria states as follows: when 2 or more persons agree to do or cause to be done, A, an illegal act, or B, an act which is not illegal by illegal means, such agreement is called a criminal conspiracy. Now, we want to make the point that Atiku does not enjoy immunity simply because he is a presidential candidate. And we're saying this because we understand that the law enforcement agencies may be reluctant to act simply because of the perception or persecution of a presidential candidate that this may evoke. However, facts are sacred. The facts so far presented to the world clearly indicate that Atiku Abubakar has a case to answer. He has an explanation to make. In other climes, when such serious allegations arose in the middle of campaigns, the law enforcement agencies acted decisively. You may recall that in 2016, in the middle of campaigns for the exalted office of the Presidency of the United States, the FBI opened investigation into allegation of misuse of private emails against Hillary Clinton when she was Secretary of State. In fact, the case was referred to the Justice Department for likely prosecution few weeks to actual voting. Though she was later cleared, it bears restating that a sane and dispassionate system never allowed such side talks to dissuade or to distract them from initiating a process of investigation. That is all we are asking for. It is the minimum expected of in a constitutional democracy. That is what we call on the authorities to do in the case of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. He has to be arrested. He has to be invited. He's not God. He's not. He doesn't enjoy immunity because he's a candidate. He must be invited. Now, we also made the point that all monies should be recovered from the marine float account. They should go back, whoever took money from there. The issue of the marine float account is not new to Nigerians. In the voice note, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar can be heard boasting that the issue of that account was thoroughly investigated by the EFCC, yet he was smart enough to escape. However, we note that in 2006, at the height of public quarrel between Obasanjo over the sharing of money, the same PDP, and I'm sure you all have seen it, the same PDP officially asked Atiku to refund 500 million naira that he took from that account. It was official, not we saying it. PDP at that time officially told Atiku Abubakar to refund 500 million naira he took from that same marine float account. So these are not just stories made up. In the circumstance, since the nation now knows that the marine float accounts and other similar accounts were SPV accounts, it follows that all payments made into the account were money stolen from the public coffers. Therefore, we call on all security agencies to recover all monies withdrawn from that account by anyone for that matter, because any withdrawal done was public money they were stealing. Now, we say that Atiku Abubakar must apologize and renounce his ambition forthwith. In the light of these grave allegations, we call on Atiku Abubakar to immediately tender an unreserved apology to the Nigerian people and step down from the presidential race forthwith, whilst handing himself over to the law enforcement agencies. What is now clear to the Nigerian people is that between 1999 and 2007, President Obasanjo and Atiku ran a criminal enterprise and an empire of fraud in Abuja. At the same time that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was toiling hard, very hard, dutifully and meticulously laying the foundation to rebuild Lagos. Two criminals were stealing money in Abuja at that same time. That following these revelations, it becomes clear that Atiku Abubakar has absolutely nothing to campaign on again, as the period of 1999 to 2007 that he always relies on can now be described by Nigerians as the SPV years, when they ran Nigeria aground. So anytime they come on air and say, you know what, between 2009 and 2009, we just say, oh, you mean the SPV years? That's what you tell them, you mean the special purpose years. That's why President Obasanjo and Atiku deprived the good people of Lagos State their local government monthly allocations. Even after the Supreme Court ordered the release of those funds, they were busy stealing the nation's resources by stealth in Abuja. That the real dark reason for the seemingly irreconcilable quarrel between Obasanjo and Atiku is disagreement over monies they both stole in the SPV.
Yes, we're back, and it's still Nation's Voice Tower if you're just joining us. Yes, right now that was Festus Keyamo, and if you could hear his voice, he was really pissed off, and he was really talking, and in between the fact that he was rallying for the arrest of Atiku Abubakar, he was also trying to make sure, as a senior advocate of Nigeria, he was also trying to make sure the law takes its course and justice also takes its pace, all right, or its course. Now, let us bring this together. This particular action, right, starting from Michael Achimogu, the Atiku Gate, the release of Atiku Gate 1, release of Atiku Gate 2, and so on and so forth. All these actions we could term as political. Why am I saying this? Okay, why are these allegations just coming now? Of course, they are allegations that are worth probing, of course. Why are they just coming now? And secondly is, who are those probing these allegations, all right? Okay, is it why is it that it's not someone from or a general person or a random SAN senior advocate of Nigeria that is probing it, or why is it that it's not a random person, maybe a non-party person that is maybe somewhere in his house trying to probe it? Why is it always the APC or the opposition party that is trying to probe this particular case that has Atiku Abubakar in it? Well, whether it is political or not, we all know that whoever wants the right thing would always come up when the wrong things go wrong. Yes, whoever always wants the right thing would always surface, would always come up when the wrong things go wrong. All right. Yeah. So, well, this is Nigeria, and I think the DSS has heard this, and for them to have their stamps on that warrant, and the other security parastatals have also heard this. Well, we hope what we are thinking isn't what is going to happen, because reactions has been sparked already from various Nigerians on Twitter and all social media platforms, and even physically. All right, physically, Nigerians are saying yes, they all know that the PDP presidential candidate, despite having this bad record, is going to go scot-free. Some are saying they know that because he's from this particular tribe, he's going to go free. Some are saying because he's from this particular sect, he's going to go free, and so on and so forth. Well, Nigeria has a lot of problems over time, aside the fact that we've been battling corruption for a long period of time. Well, if we end up seeing the presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, aka or also known as Turakin Adamawa, as he is known, or as he's also fondly called, if we end up seeing him at the polls come February 2023, 25th February elections, man, that means our country is really going haywire. All right. Yes. Well, one of the things that can really end to this, or to really end up in this particular conclusion I gave, might be actually tribalism or ethnicity. Of course, that's one of the problems of Nigeria. We have too many tribes and too many ethnic groups that makes some people regard themselves as the majority tribe and some as the minority. Okay, so in as much as you're from the same tribe system, I mean, you guys, or you are actually you are going to always make a way to always back him up in anything he does. That's tribalism or ethnicity. Well, we have religious difference. Of course, we belong to more than one religion. In Nigeria, there are three main types of religions, as we were always told. We have the Christianity, we have the Islam. Of course, these are the two main religions. Then we have the African traditional religion. But the two majority religions are the Christianity and the Muslims. So we tend to have religious difference anytime we want to allow justice to take its full course, or anytime we want to make the right things happen. Then we have this high level of corruption, as I said before. So these are the problems of Nigeria, of course, and we hope that with this high level of evidence and this wide range of evidences that have been brought out by the whistleblower, as he's called now, Michael Achimugu, we hope that the authorities and those involved will see what to do about it. Well, we all know that we've just seen evidences. It is meant for the authorities and those involved to really tell us who is guilty and who is not guilty. Well, that is that. Nation's Voice Tower will continue to bring you more political updates and more updates on general life. Don't forget, I would actually urge you to like our videos. I would actually urge you to share them around the world, share them to every group, every WhatsApp group, every social media group. Share them to everybody, because it is by you sharing our video and by you liking our video, it is by all these acts that YouTube gets to recommend our videos all over the world, or to people around the world. Don't forget, like this video and share it. Peace out.